guys, welcome to episode number 90. Believe it or not, we've been getting here together every single week for 90 episodes now. Leadership for the Future, Warrior Scholar Sage, where we explore the psychology first and foremost, and then the strategy to powerfully lead both your life and business. And for 90 episodes now, actually 89, but this will be 90, I've been challenging you to lead your life, to lead your business, because the world needs more leaders. And they need leaders that are different, I hope you will agree, than the leaders that we typically see in the world. Because the leadership that we've been exploring for all of these episodes now, and let me just say, if you're joining us for the first time, you can catch all the previous episodes on my YouTube channel. But for all these episodes now, we've been talking about leadership, and it's not about title, it's not about position, it's not about money, it's not about materialism, it's not about followers, it's not about popularity, it's not about how many likes you get. True leadership is being committed to a cause. Hopefully you feel like it's a calling to the degree that it's far beyond your own personal needs. And in other words, you're willing to sacrifice, you're willing to pay the price for something that's bigger, grander, greater than you. And so while we're waiting, for everyone to file in here, if you're on Facebook, just weigh in down below as you always do and say hello, tell me where you're coming in from. On Instagram, I want to welcome you, and you can invite people as well. I appreciate you being here. Is Twitter up yet? I know we were having some problems with Twitter. Twitter is still grinding away, so we're going to continue forward, and hopefully Twitter will get in the game here shortly. But while we're waiting for everyone to get into the room and waiting for hopefully Twitter to join us, we got Instagram, we got Facebook. Then let me just do a couple of quick shout outs to those of you who hit that share button last week and help me, help you, help those that you love and care about. Is Twitter on now? Welcome, Twitter. You're a little bit behind, but we're glad that you're here. Really quickly, let me do a quick shout out, Bear. If you can tell me who shared last week. Nora Jones, thank you. Tommy Allen Rains, Pranav Hanrail, Anthony Rogers, Susan Norkett, Javier Legva, Edwin Marin, thank you so much for sharing. Kelton Jeter, thank you, I appreciate that. Kristen Ageton, Marcus Romaine, Baltazar Gomez, David Curlew. We got a long list. Thank you, guys. Kristen Adson, Charlene Aoki, hey Charlene, Cottonwood Stone, Renee Dean, Lana Monday, Tony Francis Wellbeing, good to see you back, Tony, Sandy Arango, and Mika Valley. Sorry, Mika. Thank you so much for sharing, and once again, help me, help you, help those you love and care about. Just hit that share button right down here. Twitter, you can do that as well and retweet. Instagram, you can invite or do whatever you do on Instagram for people that need to learn more about how to lead their life and lead their business more successfully. Now, we've been in a series for a long time now. I think this is episode number 12 or 13 in this series that we've called the Leader Mastermind, the Axioms of the Leader Mastermind. And this is the final series the final episode, I should say, in this series. And I want to just tell you as well that this is the final episode of Leadership for the Future, Warrior Scholar Sage. For now, anyway. We've got a lot of great things going on at Harmonic Growth Global, a lot of new initiatives that we're involved in, a lot of new great upcoming technologies and things that we're providing for putting together to provide value to the world, to you, to your life, to your business. And so we're going to move away from Leadership for the Future for now, and we're not going to have this weekly live cast every single week going forward. I hope you'll miss me, but we do have 90 episodes. They're on my YouTube channel. We will be promoting some of the past episodes, and we've got a lot of great things going on. I want to invest more time as our live event and our live coaching ramps up, which it's doing very, very, very rapidly, to work more closely with individuals in a face-to-face, elbow-to-elbow, real-time versus this time. right? Because it's really difficult to do deep work in this kind of a format. I'm sure that makes sense to you. So if you're interested, let me and my team help you, because we're going to step away from Leadership for the Future, Warrior Scholar Sage, but we do have my 5-day Leadership for the Future live experience. We do have a myriad of live coaching options that you can find on jamesray.com, and I'm involved in all of them. Everything from, monthly live casts where you can ask me questions about your life and about your business, to bi-monthly where you get live time with me from the convenience of your own computer, plus you get a coaching session and a workbook, and on and on and on. So anyway, jamesray.com has all those options, from the most affordable all the way up to working one-on-one with me. And then we have our live events. We have a brand new live event coming up in October of this year called Mental Mastery and Power in Las Vegas, 2-day event. So stay in touch with us and stay tuned, because a lot of new things coming up in the real near future. Now, with that being said, complete success and superhuman achievement and fulfillment at the same time. Are you interested? Well, that's what we're going to talk about here today in this final episode of the Leader Mastermind. And I want to start off by quoting Max Planck, who you should be familiar with by now if you've been following this series. Max Planck is the father of quantum physics. He's not some personal development guru. He's not some spiritual teacher. He's the father of quantum physics. And here's what he says: mind is the matrix of all matter. Now, you've probably heard that if you've been following the Axioms, as I already said, for any length of time. You should know about this quote by now. But the real question I have for you, and I want you to really consider, is, do you know it? Because you see, there's a vast difference between knowing about something and really knowing it. You follow me? Let me give you an example. You can read every book in the world on gourmet cooking, for instance, but you don't know gourmet cooking. You know about gourmet cooking. You can read every book in the world on one of my favorite places. I've been there many times, Egypt. But you don't know Egypt. You know about Egypt. Big difference. You follow this? The only way to know is to do. And so, by now, you should know about this quote: mind is the matrix of all matter. But do you know it? Now, I'm going to say something really bold here, and it's true. This series, the Leader Mastermind, contains every single principle and strategy for complete success, superhuman performance, and achievement and fulfillment in both your life and business. Guaranteed you, it does. But you must commit to more than just learning it. You must study it. Now, I've studied these principles for the better part of at least 4 decades now, going on 4 decades. That's a long time. I've studied quantum physics for going on 2 decades, and I'm not a physicist. But you got to commit to more than just learning something. You have to study it. And then you have to go beyond that, because you have to do more than just study it. You have to apply it. Let's face it, information without application is nothing more than organized data. Are you with me on this? The world is full of data. I mean, it's a fact that a kid in a third world country has more data and more information at his fingertips with his smartphone than Bill Clinton did when he was president. That's a fact. So, people who say that information is power just don't get it, because it's just not true. Information without application is nothing more than just organized data. Application begins the process of truly understanding. Here's our next step. But it doesn't end there either, because through continued application, analyzation, and adjustment, act, analyze, adjust, act, analyze, adjust, act again, act, analyze, adjust, act again, act, analyze, adjust, act again, you begin to embody it. You say, James, is that it? Yeah, that's where when you begin to embody it, things start to rattle and roll. But there's one more step too, because as you continue to embody it up through application, then eventually you become it. And when you become it, that's the first and only time that you have any degree of wisdom. And wisdom, it says in the book of Proverbs, is the principal thing. Get wisdom. And I just gave you the strategy to get wisdom. You have to learn, you have to study it, you have to learn it, you have to apply it, you have to understand it, and then you have to embody it, and then you become it. And when you become it, that's when you have true wisdom. You know, it's not easy. It's a lot of work, right? It's a lot of work. It's the greatest work you ever do. It's the most rewarding work you ever do. But that's why Steve Jobs, one of my favorite quotes from Jobs, he said, success is hard. Therefore, find something that you love. Because if you don't love it, you're going to quit. He says, like any sane person would. But when you love it, you won't quit. Success is hard. It's hard work. Change is hard. It's hard work. And yet, it's hardly work when you get the rewards, because it's the most rewarding work you'll ever do. Look, science tells us, and we've been exploring this in this entire series of the Leader Mastermind, that there's only one mind. Now, I know that sounds mystical, but as we've discussed many, many times in this series, you know, science in today's world is way better than science fiction. It really is. Science tells us there's only one mind in this universe, and this mind is omnipresent, meaning it's everywhere. Now, science also tells us, Max Planck, Werner Heisenberg, many others, that not only is everything comprised of this mind, or we could call it this energetic consciousness, but everything that ever could possibly exist, everything that ever did exist is in this mind, because thermodynamics tells us energy can never be created or destroyed. So if energy can never be created or destroyed, every single thing that ever was or ever will be is already here. Now think. I mean, really think. Therefore, here's what you've got to understand. And when you really, really begin, remember we said understanding comes through study application. When you really begin to understand this, what you recognize is that everything that ever existed, every thought, every creativity, every individual, Einstein, Da Vinci, everything, Jesus, the Christ, the Buddha, everything that ever existed, ever could exist, is accessible to you right here and right now. Are you thinking? Again, energy can never be created or destroyed. Everything is energy, including thoughts, including consciousness. It's all one mind. It never goes away. And so everything that ever could exist, every thought, every creativity, every innovation is here right now. And it's accessible to you because you're connected to it and part of it. And all you have to do is grow up. Grow up and wake up enough to access it and to become a vessel or a vehicle or a channel for it. Do you get that? To be a true leader in your life, you have to do three major things. You have to grow up, you have to clean up, and you have to wake up. Now, let's face it, you like me know someone who's in their 30s, 40s, maybe 50s, 60s, who still hasn't even grown up, right? Much less cleaned up and woke up. So, in this last installment, and that's the objective. That's the objective. Is to grow up, clean up, and wake up. And as you begin to grow up, clean up, and wake up, then greater and greater and greater opportunities are afforded to you because it's all here. It's all here. And this is not some mystical, magical thinking. This is quantum physics. Quantum physics. Mind is the matrix of all matter. Think about what that means. Your body, your bank account, your relationship, your business. Mind is the matrix or the foundation or the coming together of all that. So here's what I want to do in this last Leader Mastermind in the series and the last of the Leadership for the Future Warrior Scholar Sage livecast for now. Who knows what the future holds? I want to recap the 10 axioms very quickly that we've gone through over the last long 10, 12 weeks. And I want to invite you then, if you're ready to level up your leadership, if you're ready to level up your life, if you're ready to level up your business, I'm going to invite you to reach out to me and my team for either coaching or even better, to attend a live event with me. And on Facebook, there's a link above my head. On Twitter, there's a link above my head. And on Instagram, you can go to the bio, and the link is there as well. But I'm going to invite you, if you're ready to take it to the next level. Now, I'm going to share these axioms with you so you can capture them and write them down. Again, if you want to go into depth and detail, you can find all the previous episodes on my YouTube channel. But I want to go through these at a high level, and I've made them somewhat cryptic just for time's sake, for brevity's sake. But again, they all exist in internet land in depth and detail in my previous blogs, my YouTube videos in this series. So here we go. Are you ready? Number one axiom. There's a thinking substance that permeates and penetrates everything in this universe. We've already talked somewhat about that. Number 2 axiom. To think truth regardless of appearances is true mastery. It's the hardest work you ever do. It's the most rewarding work you ever do because most people get seduced by appearances. You with me? How many times have you done that? Number 3 axiom. Every single person has the God-given ability to think whatever they choose to think. No one and nothing can cause you to think something that you don't choose to think. And it all starts there. You see, thought is spiritual energy. It puts things into motion, and then it must move to the heart, where the feeling center resides, and then it must be given out through the hands. And that thought, feeling, and action that we've talked about, and I've called going 3 for 3 so many times, is the strategy for creating what you desire and deserve. Axiom number 4, every single thought placed upon this formless substance, this matrix of mind, creates a thought form. Remember that we explored? Every thought creates a thought form. And that thought must be consistently held and felt, or it will be instantly wiped out by the next thought and feeling. And how many times have you, like me, fallen prey to that? You put a great one out there, true creativity and innovation, truly leveling up your life and business, and then life comes along and throws you a little curveball, and boom, you can't hang on to it, right? It takes a lot of willpower, a lot of discipline. You have to be able to think what you choose to think and to think truth regardless of appearances. That's axiom number 2. Axiom number 5. Because the will of God, or if you don't like that, we can call it universal will. We can call it universal intelligence. We can call it astronomical observation. because astronomy is looking at the universe and what it's doing all the time. Whatever you choose to call it is really irrelevant. But this will, this driving force, is increase. It's growth. And so for any thought to work in harmony with the will of God, if you will, it must be in alignment with increase. It must convey growth. It must convey improvement. It must convey development. It must convey advancement. You with me? Axiom number 6. Every single thought creates the pathway for another thought. And you go, well, that's pretty obvious, James. Yeah, it is. And you know why? Because it's the life principle. And life must create more life. Life cannot be contrary to its essence. Nothing can. And so life must create more life. And so that's why you're constantly wanting more. That's why your desire consistently increases. Because it's the life force coming through you to create more. Axiom number 7. The true leader mastermind knows that he doesn't have to hurry. He doesn't have to worry. He doesn't have to compete. Because all of those things are grounded in scarcity and limitation and lack. And they actually knock you off your game. The true leader mastermind knows he doesn't have to hurry. I'm not suggesting you don't move quickly. I move really quickly. I go Mach 10. But there's a difference between going fast and going desperate. Right? You with me? Axiom number 8. The true leader must always and only stay in the creative mind. Not the competitive mind. Because the competitive mind is grounded in limitation and lack of resources. The true leader and mastermind must consistently stay in the creative mind and focus on more increase, development, advancement, growth, what we've already talked about. Axiom number 9, leaders can and must desire. We talked about in the previous episode, the word desire comes from the Latin, meaning from the heavens or from the higher self or from the stars. When you have a desire, it's your higher self calling you forward, compelling you to be more, become more, do more. The leader can and must desire to constantly expand and grow, and at the same time, he or she must remain completely satisfied and grateful for what they currently have. And axiom number 10, the leader is always grateful. There's that word again. For what he or she has, for the leader realizes that life is a blessing. Life is a gift. Even the tough stuff, right? Even the difficulties bring about what? More increase, more development, more advancement, more growth, because we grow the most in the crucible of challenge. We don't grow the most when we're smelling the roses and the sweet perfume, although that's nice sometimes. So that's all 10 of the axioms of the leader mastermind, and now you know about these fundamental leadership principles. So the question I have for you is, what are you going to do now to know them? What are you going to do now to integrate them, to embody them, and to become them? Answer the question, and you've got your answer. Answer the question, and then move on that question, and live from that question, live from that answer, I should say, and you create the life you desire and deserve. Because there's always more. There's always more. Look, let me and my team, please allow my team and me to help you. There's a link above my head to our Leadership for the Future coming up, live event coming up experience in Las Vegas, Nevada in September. It's going to be a full house because we have a limited number. You can apply at the link above on Twitter and on Facebook and on Instagram. The link is in my bio. Or go to jamesray.com and check out all of our coaching options. And we have a lot of options regardless of your budget. We've got options, from the most economical all the way up to working one-on-one with me. And I'm involved in all of them, and so is my team and my faculty. So I want to thank you for being here every single week for 90 episodes. I want to thank you for those of you who share. And please, if this is valuable for you today, just hit that share button on Twitter and retweet it. Just hit that share button on Facebook and help me help you, help those you love and care about. And stay tuned for a lot of new upcoming opportunities. And hopefully I'll get to work with you elbow to elbow and face to face and voice to voice and heart to heart really, really soon. I'll be honored to do that. Until we speak again, be a leader. Live your purpose and take your power back.